Hey everyone, today we will make our first logo animation project. I have been learning UI design for a while and this is a mobile UI I designed for my resume. Today we will use its name. I named it as Gadget Grab. Okay, let's do it. I am creating the idea of how the animation elements would look like. I am using Figma as it's pretty handy. You can see the time-lapse of how I experimented to make this reference. Now let's go to Aftereffects. I made two ellipses and locked them just to mark the position of keyframes for these elements, and in the center we'll place the logo, and all these shapes are created in After Effects itself. If you want to learn about Shape Tool, you can check the video I have shared. Firstly, I am placing them according to our reference that we have made in Figma. Also, I made these two zigzag lines. Now we will animate them. First keyframe position at 20th second. Then set their first keyframe one by one. As you can see, we are done with the position. Now I want to animate the stroke width property of these layers. You can see we have to go too long. Instead, we can just search over here. Select the layers and then type the word stroke width and you can see the stroke. Simply keyframe it and press U. At the beginning, the value of stroke width is 0. Over here we can go with 8. Then move after the position keyframe and set as 0. Easy is the position and stroke width keyframes by F9. Go to the graph and change the position randomly and experiment a little bit one by one. Okay, we are done with these 4 shapes which are empty inside. If you want to change the position of the shapes, then drag them from keyframe point. Don't click on the object itself, it will create a new keyframe like this. Now for these filled shapes, set position easy is and change the graphs a little bit. I'm just changing randomly and try to experiment as much as you can just to make the animation look natural. Now we're gonna animate them with scale and rotation. Let's do in circle and we'll copy paste in others. Keyframe both and set the value of scale and rotation 0 on the first keyframe. Come over before position and set scale as 95 and rotation x 1. Come further and set rotation y 90 and scale 0. Change them to easy ease. Now go ahead in graph editor and change it with the handles. Okay, copy the scale and rotation properties to paste them on the other layers which are filled. Now the zigzag lines. Set the position the same way or just copy paste like this. We also need to set them on auto orient. To orient along path, go to transform, select auto orient, enter here, OK. Then change the last keyframe position like this. Don't drag the object. We need to click on the keyframe and drag it. Now we're gonna add trim path. Enter on add, then click on trim path. Keyframe start and end at 100. Come over here and set 0 and 0. Move the start keyframes little forward. Copy these keyframes to paste on the other zigzag line. Now we can just duplicate all the shape layers one more time and change the second one's position randomly. Try to experiment with your animation as much as you can. Give it your taste. Now we don't want them to come at the same time. Alter the position of these end keyframes. As we move the keyframes away, it will take longer to complete the motion. And if we drag them closer, it will complete faster. I am doing it so randomly just to show you the technique to do it. You can do it meticulously to make more better outcome. Shifting only 2 keyframes, sometimes 1, further and closer. Notice now the animation become much more natural. We can also move the starting keyframes. Select the keyframes and move sometimes 1 frame, sometimes 2 or 3. Okay. We can also go one by one to position graph of the filled layers and make them different for more better visual. Now we want to add our logo in the center. Create a new composition, name this as logo. Now create one more composition as final. And drag these both comp into the final comp. Take out the background solid layer from this composition and paste it in the final comp directly. Now adjust the logo and we're gonna keyframe scale, set 0 at beginning and the final size as keyframe on 20th frame. Also keyframe the rotation X as 0 and Y minus 180 at first, and on 20th frame put it at 0. Select keyframes and easy ease them. Open graph and do something like this. Let's see what's happening. Scale is fast, so just bringing it down. Okay. We want the logo to come a bit later, so drag the layer. Okay. We can increase the number of shapes here. Just duplicate the burst comp with Ctrl D. Open scale and increase the value. And rotate it a little. Now it's looking good. Nice. We can also add motion blur to the shapes. I want to show you one more thing. Come here and enter on expand or collapse in out. Actually, it will increase or decrease the speed of these precompositions. For example, decrease the speed of this burst. We can see they are not coming together now and it's much better. Okay, now let's add text down here. As I named it gadget grab, so writing it. You can also see the UI design of this app if you want to. Just go on my Behance through LinkedIn. Okay, you can experiment with it in many ways. I'm just making it a normal type of animation right now. Okay, just simply animate it with opacity 0 at first and show it here fully set 100%. Okay, that's it. It's looking good and I have just shifted the website text a little so it will come later. Thank you guys to be here. Comment down to ask anything, I will help you. Okay, see you in the next one. Bye.